ladies and gentlemen. Today I want to invite you to a profound realization in the art of blessing yourself. To bless yourself is to awaken to the truth of who you are, to recognize the infinite power within you, and to consciously shape your life in alignment with your highest desires. Every great transformation begins with one essential principle: what you think, you become. The thoughts you nurture, the feelings you embody, and the imaginations you entertain are the seeds of your reality. Blessing yourself is not a passive act, it is the deliberate choosing of what you allow to take root in your inner world. Close your eyes for a moment and reflect who is the thinker behind your thoughts. Who is the dreamer behind your dreams? You are not merely a product of circumstance. You are the creative force that breathes life into your experience. Your awareness is the canvas, and your imagination is the brush. To bless yourself, you must first understand that the power to create resides within you. No external condition can overshadow the authority of your inner world. Blessing begins with clarity. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? Not what you think is possible, not what others say you should want, but what your heart deeply yearns for. Once you know, speak it into existence, not out loud, but in the silent corridors of your mind. Picture it vividly. Feel it deeply. Speak as though it is already yours. Declare, I am abundant. I am loved. I am healthy. I am free. When you claim these truths in the present tense, you align your inner world with the reality you wish to experience. Words alone are not enough, they must be charged with feeling. The secret to blessing yourself lies in emotion. Feel as though your desire is already fulfilled. Let it stir within you a deep sense of gratitude, joy, and certainty. The more you feel it, the more your subconscious mind accepts it as truth. And once accepted, it begins to manifest effortlessly in your outer world. Doubt is the enemy of blessing. It creeps in and whispers, but how? But let me remind you, the how is not your concern. Your task is to believe, to trust, and to persist. Imagine planting a seed in fertile soil. You do not dig it up each day to check its progress, you trust that it will grow. So too must you trust the process of your own blessings. Here is a secret many overlook: when you bless others, you magnify your own blessings. See those around you as fulfilled, happy, and thriving. Imagine their joy as vividly as you imagine your own. As you give in thought, so shall you receive. What you send out returns to you, multiplied. Close your eyes for a moment and consider the vastness of life around you: the mountains, the rivers, the boundless skies, and the intricate dance of the stars. Now ask yourself, what is the source of this creation? What force animates the world and brings order to the chaos? That same force resides within you. It is not distant or separate, it is at the very core of your being. To awaken to your creative power is to realize that you are not merely a spectator of life, you are its architect. Many live under the illusion that they are at the mercy of external circumstances, that life is happening to them rather than through them. They see their conditions as fixed and immutable, believing their potential is limited by what they can see and touch. But let me tell you this: what you perceive as the outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner state. The life you experience is shaped by your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, whether you are aware of it or not. Your creative power lies in your awareness. Everything begins there. It is the silent observer within you, the part of you that watches your thoughts, dreams your dreams, and feels the pulse of life. This awareness is not passive, it is dynamic, intentional, and profoundly creative. Through your awareness, you hold the ability to choose what you will give life to. Every thought you entertain, every feeling you hold on to, and every belief you cling to is a brushstroke on the canvas of your reality. Now think of your mind as a fertile garden. Every thought you think is a seed. Some seeds are small, planted without much attention, while others are nurtured with care. Regardless of how they are planted, every seed has the potential to grow. The question is, what are you growing? Are you sowing seeds of abundance, joy, and love? Or are you unwittingly cultivating doubt, fear, and lack? The truth is, most of us have been planting unconsciously for so long that we no longer recognize the connection between our inner world and the life that surrounds us. We look at the weeds in our garden, financial struggles, broken relationships, feelings of inadequacy, and assume they have come from nowhere. But nothing appears in your life uninvited. Every experience, whether pleasant or painful, is the result of seeds planted in your mind. Awakening to your creative power means becoming a conscious gardener. It means observing your thoughts without judgment and choosing which ones you will allow to take root. Not every thought deserves your attention. Not every feeling is worth nurturing. When you understand this, you reclaim control over your life. But how do you awaken to this power? Begin with awareness. Throughout your day, pay attention to your inner dialogue. What stories are you telling yourself about who you are and what is possible for you? Are they stories of limitation, or are they stories of possibility? Listen closely, for the words you say to yourself carry immense power. Then move to intention. Decide here and now that you will think deliberately. Choose thoughts that empower you, thoughts that align with the life you wish to live. This is not about ignoring reality, but about understanding that your current reality is the result of past thinking. To create a new reality, you must think in alignment with the future you desire, not the circumstances you currently face. Awakening to your creative power also requires imagination. Imagination is not a childish whim, but the tool through which you mold your reality. When you close your eyes and envision your dream life, you are engaging in the most profound act of creation. Imagine yourself as you wish to be. Picture it vividly and feel it deeply. The more real it becomes in your mind, the more your outer world will begin to shift in response. As you step into this awareness, you will notice something remarkable. Life begins to respond to you in ways you never thought possible. People, opportunities, and resources will flow into your experience seemingly out of nowhere. But it is not magic, it is the natural result of aligning your inner world with your desires. The power to create is not reserved for the gifted or the chosen, it is the birthright of every human being. It has always been within you, waiting for you to notice it, to nurture it, and to wield it consciously. The moment you awaken to this truth, your life will never be the same. Now that you have awakened to your creative power, the next step is to define your desires with absolute clarity. Think of this process as giving specific instructions to the creative force within you. Without clear instructions, your energy becomes scattered, and the results you produce are often vague or inconsistent. Clarity is the bridge between your intention and its manifestation. It is the key that unlocks the doors to your highest potential. But defining your desires requires more than a casual wish or fleeting thought. It calls for depth, focus, and specificity. Many people go through life unsure of what they truly want. They are influenced by the opinions of others, societal expectations, or fleeting trends. As a result, they send mixed signals to their subconscious mind, which then reflects this confusion in their outer reality. If you want to create with purpose, you must first be deliberate in knowing exactly what you desire. Begin by asking yourself, what do I truly want? Not what you think is possible, not what others say you should want, but what your heart sincerely yearns for. To uncover this, you must look inward with honesty and courage. Strip away the noise of the world, the expectations of others, and even the limits you may have unconsciously placed on yourself. This is a process of self-discovery, a moment to connect with the deepest parts of your being. Once you have identified your desires, write them down. There is power in putting your dreams into words. Writing gives form to your thoughts and solidifies them in your mind. But be specific. Do not settle for vague ideas like I want to be successful or I want to be happy. Success and happiness mean different things to different people. Define what they mean to you. For example, if you desire financial freedom, determine the exact amount of money that represents this freedom for you. If you want a loving relationship, describe the qualities of the connection you wish to experience. Clarity also requires simplicity. Your desires should be straightforward and easy for your mind to grasp. Imagine trying to direct someone to a destination using a vague and overly complex map. They would never reach their goal. The same applies to your inner guidance system. Be precise, be concise, and be intentional. Another vital aspect of defining your desires is aligning them with your values. Ask yourself, why do I want this? Your reasons must resonate with your core beliefs and aspirations. A desire rooted in genuine purpose has far greater power than one motivated by fear, envy, or comparison. When your desires are aligned with your inner truth, they become magnetic. As you define your desires, allow yourself to dream without limits. Too often people diminish their dreams because they believe their current circumstances do not support them. But defining your desires is not about what you think you can achieve, it is about what you truly want. Forget the how for now. The how is not your concern. Focus entirely on the what. When you are clear about what you want, the path will reveal itself in time. Now, once you have a clear vision, it is essential to engage your emotions. A well-defined desire is not just a mental image, it is a feeling. Imagine yourself living the reality you desire. What does it feel like? How does it transform your day-to-day experience? Engage all your senses in this process. See it, hear it, touch it, and most importantly, feel it. Emotions are the fuel that propel your desires into manifestation. Remember, clarity also requires consistency. You cannot plant a seed one day and dig it up the next to see if it has grown. The same principle applies to your desires. Once you have defined them, hold them steadfastly in your mind. Do not waver or allow doubt to dilute your vision. Revisit your desires often, refining and reinforcing them as needed. This is not a one-time act, but an ongoing process of reaffirmation. Lastly, be mindful of your language. The words you use to define your desires matter. Speak in the present tense, as though your desires are already a reality. Avoid phrases like "I want" or "I wish" instead. Affirm with confidence, "I am abundant. I am successful. I am loved." This subtle shift in language has a profound effect on your subconscious mind, which always responds to the authority of your belief. In defining your desires with clarity, you are declaring your intentions to the universe and to yourself. You are taking the first step toward transforming your dreams from abstract ideas into tangible realities. Once you have defined your desires with clarity, the next essential step is to embody the feeling of fulfillment. This is where your desires begin to take root, not just in your mind, but in the depths of your being. The feeling of fulfillment is the bridge that connects your inner vision to your outer reality. It is the secret key that transforms abstract thought into tangible experience. To embody the feeling of fulfillment is to live as though your desire has already been realized. It is not enough to simply think about what you want, you must feel it with every fiber of your being. Why? Because feeling is the language of your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is the powerhouse that shapes your reality. Think of the feeling of fulfillment as the emotional equivalent of planting a seed in fertile soil. The seed may represent your desire, but it is the nurturing warmth of emotion that allows it to grow and flourish. Without this vital ingredient, even the clearest intentions remain dormant. Begin by asking yourself, what would it feel like to have my desire right now? This question is the gateway to embodiment. Let your imagination guide you. Picture the exact moment when your dream becomes your reality. Visualize yourself in the scenario you have been longing for. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you smell? Immerse yourself in every detail of the scene. Then go deeper. Shift your focus from the external image to the internal experience. How does it feel in your heart, in your body, in your soul? Perhaps it feels like relief, like a heavy burden has been lifted. Perhaps it feels like joy, like an overflowing sense of gratitude and wonder. Perhaps it feels like peace, like an unshakable calm that settles deep within you. Whatever the feeling is, embrace it fully. Let it wash over you until it becomes as real as the air you breathe. It is important to understand that embodying the feeling of fulfillment does not mean pretending or forcing yourself to feel something artificial. It is about connecting with the truth of your desire as though it already exists. This is not wishful thinking, it is an active alignment. The more you embody the feeling of fulfillment, the more your inner world aligns with the reality you are creating. Now, you may wonder, how can I feel fulfilled when my current reality shows the opposite? This is the challenge that most people face, but it is also where the true power lies. To embody the feeling of fulfillment, you must train yourself to look beyond appearances. Your outer circumstances are merely the result of past thoughts and feelings. They are not fixed, and they do not define you. Focus instead on the power of your imagination. Your imagination is a sacred tool, a place where limitations dissolve and possibilities become endless. When you imagine yourself already living your desired life and attach emotion to that vision, your subconscious mind begins to accept it as true. It does not differentiate between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It simply responds to the feeling you impress upon it. Consistency is vital in this process. Embodying the feeling of fulfillment is not a one-time act, it is a daily practice. Throughout your day, return to the feeling of your desire fulfilled. Use triggers to remind yourself a certain time of day, a special object, or even a simple breath. These moments of embodiment will anchor your feelings and keep your energy aligned with your vision. Do not underestimate the power of small actions in this process. Embodying the feeling of fulfillment often inspires you to take steps that reflect your inner state. These actions, though seemingly insignificant, carry the energy of your belief and send a powerful signal to your subconscious mind. They are not acts of trying, but acts of being. Gratitude plays a significant role here as well. When you embody the feeling of fulfillment, you naturally begin to feel gratitude not for what is coming, but for what already is. Gratitude is a powerful amplifier of energy, a way to signal to the universe that you are in alignment with the good you desire. Finally, remember that embodying the feeling of fulfillment is not about avoiding or suppressing negative emotions. You may encounter moments of doubt or fear, and that is natural. The key is to gently redirect your focus back to the feeling you wish to cultivate. Your emotional state is like a muscle, it grows stronger with practice and repetition. The more you embody the feeling of fulfillment, the more you transform your inner world into fertile ground for your desires to flourish. This is the essence of creation, to feel your desires real, here and now, until the world around you mirrors the truth. Once you have embodied the feeling of fulfillment, the next vital step is to trust the process and release doubt. Trust is the foundation of creation, the invisible thread that holds everything together. It is the act of surrendering control over the how and when of manifestation while remaining firmly rooted in the belief that your desires are already unfolding perfectly. Trust allows you to navigate the gap between your inner vision and its eventual external realization. Doubt, on the other hand, is the great disruptor. It creeps in subtly, whispering questions like, what if this doesn't work? What if I'm wasting my time? What if I'm not capable? These doubts are not reflections of truth, but projections of fear. They arise from the part of your mind that clings to certainty and familiarity, even at the expense of your growth. To release doubt is to free yourself from the chains of limitation and step boldly into the unknown, where infinite possibilities reside. Trust begins with understanding the natural flow of creation. Just as a seed takes time to sprout and grow, your desires require time to unfold. Imagine planting a seed in the soil. You would not dig it up every day to check its progress. Instead, you trust that it will grow, provided you nurture it with sunlight, water, and care. The same principle applies to the seeds of your desires. Once planted in your subconscious mind through clear intention and feeling, they begin to germinate. Your task is not to control their growth, but to nurture them with belief and patience. One of the most powerful ways to cultivate trust is to focus on the present moment. Doubt thrives when you project your fears into the future, imagining worst-case scenarios or worrying about timelines. But the present moment is where your power resides. It is in the now that you align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with your desired reality. Trusting the process means fully engaging with the present, knowing that every step you take is bringing you closer to your goal. Releasing doubt also requires awareness. Pay attention to the stories you tell yourself. Are you constantly second-guessing your desires or questioning your worthiness to receive them? If so, pause and remind yourself of the truth: you are a creator, and the same power that has brought your desires into your awareness is fully capable of bringing them into your experience. Doubt is nothing more than a habitual thought pattern. You can choose to break the habit by replacing it with thoughts of trust and confidence. Another essential aspect of trust is detachment from the outcome. This does not mean giving up on your desires or caring less about them. Rather, it means releasing the need to control every detail and allowing the universe to orchestrate the perfect unfolding. Detachment frees you from anxiety and opens the door for unexpected solutions and opportunities to arise. When you cling too tightly to a specific outcome, you may inadvertently block the very things that could lead to your fulfillment. Faith is the antidote to doubt, and faith is built through practice. One way to strengthen your faith is to look back on moments in your life when things worked out unexpectedly, or when challenges transformed into blessings. These experiences serve as reminders that there is a force greater than your conscious mind at work, guiding you toward your highest good. Trust that this same force is active in the manifestation of your current desires. Visualization and affirmation can also help you release doubt. When doubts arise, take a moment to reconnect with your vision. See it clearly in your mind's eye and reaffirm your belief in its reality. Speak words of encouragement to yourself, such as, "I trust the process. Everything is unfolding perfectly for me. My desires are on their way." These simple practices redirect your focus from fear to faith and keep your energy aligned with your goals. It is also important to cultivate patience. Trusting the process does not mean demanding instant results. Just as the seasons follow their natural rhythm, so too does the manifestation of your desires. Impatience often stems from a lack of trust, a belief that if something is not happening immediately, it may never happen at all. But patience is an act of faith. It is the willingness to wait without losing sight of your vision or diminishing your belief in its fulfillment. Finally, surround yourself with reminders of your power and your progress. Keep a journal to record moments of alignment, signs of synchronicity, and small victories along the way. These reminders will reinforce your trust and provide tangible evidence that the process is working. Trust is not about blind faith. It is about recognizing the subtle signs that your desires are taking shape, even if the full picture has not yet materialized. When you trust the process and release doubt, you create a state of ease and flow. This allows the energy of your desires to move freely and without resistance. Trust does not require proof, it only requires belief. And with that belief, you become a co-creator with the infinite, moving in harmony with the forces that shape your reality. Imagination is the most potent tool you possess as a creator. It is the sacred space where the seeds of your desires are first planted, the workshop of your mind where unseen ideas are given form. Everything that exists in the physical world, every invention, every work of art, every achievement was first created in the realm of imagination. To harness the power of imagination is to unlock the door to unlimited possibilities. It is through this faculty that you shape the unseen into the seen, the intangible into the tangible. Imagination is not just a whimsical pastime, it is the cornerstone of creation. Yet many people dismiss it as mere fantasy or daydreaming. They fail to realize that their imagination is constantly at work, whether they use it consciously or unconsciously. Or every thought you think, every scenario you visualize is an act of imagination. The question is not whether you are using your imagination, but whether you are using it to create the life you desire or to reinforce the limitations you fear. To harness the power of imagination, you must first understand its nature. Your imagination operates without bounds, unrestricted by time, space, or current circumstances. In your mind, you can travel anywhere, become anyone, and achieve anything. This freedom is your greatest gift. It allows you to live beyond the constraints of the present moment and align with the reality you wish to create. Begin by intentionally directing your imagination toward your desires. Close your eyes and picture the life you want to live. See it as vividly as you can, as though it is happening right now. Imagine yourself in the place you wish to be, surrounded by the people and experiences that bring you joy. Fill in the details. What do you see? What colors, shapes, and textures surround you? What sounds fill the air? The clearer and more vivid your mental picture, the more powerful your creation becomes. But imagination is not just about seeing, it is about feeling. As you visualize your desired reality, connect with the emotions it evokes. How does it feel to live your dream? Is it a sense of joy, peace, or accomplishment? Allow these feelings to flood your being as you imagine. Feeling is the fuel that animates your mental pictures and brings them to life. The beauty of imagination is that it works outside the confines of logic. It does not require you to know how your desires will come to fruition. It asks only that you focus on the end result, as though it is already yours. The how is the domain of the subconscious mind and the infinite intelligence that governs all creation. Your role is simply to imagine the outcome with clarity and conviction. One of the most effective ways to harness the power of imagination is through repetition. Make it a daily practice to engage in creative visualization. Set aside time each day to immerse yourself in your mental pictures. Let them become more vivid and detailed with each session. Over time, this practice will condition your subconscious mind to accept your imagined reality as truth. Imagination can also be used to rewrite limiting beliefs and past experiences. If there is an area of your life where you feel stuck or constrained, use your imagination to envision a new outcome. For example, if you have experienced failure in a certain area, imagine yourself succeeding instead. Replace the old mental picture with one that aligns with your desires. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between real and imagined experiences. It accepts whatever you consistently present to it. Another powerful technique is to combine imagination with action. As you visualize your desired reality, ask yourself, what would someone living this reality do? Then, take small steps that reflect the life you are imagining. These actions, no matter how small, reinforce your belief in your vision and create a feedback loop between your inner world and your outer reality. Guard your imagination against distractions and negative influences. Just as a gardener protects their plants from weeds, you must protect your mind from thoughts and images that do not serve your goals. Be mindful of the stories you tell yourself and the scenarios you play out in your mind. When you catch yourself imagining worst-case scenarios or replaying past disappointments, consciously redirect your focus to your desired outcome. Imagination is also a source of inspiration and creativity. When you engage deeply with your vision, you may find new ideas, solutions, and opportunities arising effortlessly. These flashes of insight are not coincidences, they are the natural result of aligning your inner world with the infinite intelligence of creation. Remember that imagination is not bound by what others consider realistic or possible. Some of the greatest achievements in history were once deemed impossible until someone dared to imagine them. Allow your imagination to stretch beyond the limits of what you currently know. Trust in its ability to lead you to places you have never been and to realities you have yet to experience. The power of imagination lies in its ability to make the invisible visible, to turn dreams into reality. It is through imagination that you breathe life into your desires and set them into motion, bringing the unseen closer with every thought, every feeling, and every picture you create in your mind. As you harness the power of imagination, you must now turn your attention to one of the most vital principles in manifesting your desires, practicing consistency in thought. Consistency is the glue that holds all the previous steps together, allowing your intentions to remain strong and unwavering. Without it, even the most vivid imagination or heartfelt feelings can waver, causing your desired reality to become unclear and distant. Consistent thought is what keeps the creative process moving forward, ensuring that your desires are nurtured and brought into existence. Your thoughts are like currents in a vast ocean. When they flow in a single, unified direction, they create a powerful force capable of transforming your life. But when your thoughts are scattered, contradictory, or inconsistent, they weaken your ability to manifest. Practicing consistency in thought means consciously directing your mental energy toward your desired reality and refusing to allow distractions, doubts, or fears to pull you off course. Start by becoming aware of your dominant thoughts throughout the day. Awareness is the first step to consistency. Pay attention to the patterns of your thinking. Are your thoughts aligned with the reality you are seeking to create? Or do they reflect old fears, doubts, or limiting beliefs? Many people sabotage their desires by oscillating between hope and fear, belief and doubt. They spend a few moments imagining their ideal life, only to let negative thoughts creep in and undermine their progress. To practice consistency, you must train your mind to remain focused and unwavering, even in the face of external challenges. One effective way to maintain consistent thought is to create mental routines. Just as you might set aside time each day to exercise your body, set aside time to exercise your mind. Begin your day by visualizing your desired reality and affirming your belief in its fulfillment. Repeat this practice before you go to sleep, allowing your subconscious mind to dwell on your intentions during the night. These routines create a strong foundation for consistency, anchoring your thoughts in the direction of your goals. Another key aspect of consistency is managing your emotional state. Your emotions and thoughts are deeply interconnected, one influences the other. When you feel doubt, fear, or frustration, your thoughts tend to follow suit, often straying from the vision you are working to create. To stay consistent, cultivate emotional resilience. Practice gratitude, engage in activities that bring you joy, and surround yourself with positivity. When your emotions remain steady, it becomes easier to keep your thoughts aligned with your desires. It is also essential to guard against mental distractions. In today's fast-paced world, it is easy to become overwhelmed by external influences, news, social media, and the opinions of others. These distractions can introduce conflicting thoughts and pull your focus away from your goals. To counteract this, create a mental environment that supports your consistency. Limit your exposure to negativity and actively seek out uplifting content, affirmations, or stories that inspire you. Repetition is another powerful tool for maintaining consistency. The more you focus on your desired reality, the more natural and automatic these thoughts become. Repetition strengthens neural pathways in your brain, making your chosen thoughts the dominant ones. This is why affirmations and visualizations are so effective. They reinforce the same ideas repeatedly, creating a strong, unshakable foundation for your desires to manifest. When practicing consistency in thought, it is important to address moments of doubt or distraction with compassion rather than judgment. It is natural for your mind to wander or for old fears to resurface. Instead of resisting these moments, gently redirect your focus back to your vision. Remind yourself of your power as a creator and the truth that your desired reality is already unfolding. The more you practice this redirection, the easier it becomes to stay consistent over time. Consistency also extends to your words and actions. The thoughts you think must be supported by the words you speak and the steps you take. When your actions align with your consistent thoughts, you create a harmony between your inner and outer worlds. This alignment sends a clear message to the universe that you are serious about your intentions. For example, if you consistently think about abundance, let your words reflect that belief. Speak as though you already live in abundance, and take actions that demonstrate your trust in this reality. Patience plays a significant role in practicing consistency. Manifestation is not an instantaneous process, and there may be times when you feel tempted to doubt or give up. But consistency requires persistence. Trust that every aligned thought you hold is contributing to the creation of your reality, even if the results are not immediately visible. Stay steadfast, knowing that the process is working in your favor. Finally, celebrate your progress along the way. Each small victory, each moment of alignment, is a sign that you are on the right path. Acknowledge these moments and let them reinforce your belief in the power of your consistent thought. With each step, you are building momentum, drawing your desires closer, and strengthening your ability to create with clarity and conviction. Consistency in thought is not a one-time effort, it is a way of life. It requires dedication, focus, and faith, but the rewards are immeasurable. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes, until your consistent thoughts transform your reality into a reflection of your deepest desires. As you practice consistency in thought and grow closer to manifesting your desires, powerful realization emerges, the energy you project toward others is as significant as the energy you cultivate within yourself. To truly elevate your own life and align with the infinite flow of abundance, you must learn to bless others with love and abundance. This act is not merely an outward gesture, but a profound inner practice that reinforces the truth of abundance in your own life. Blessing others with love and abundance begins with understanding that we are all interconnected. The energy you send out to others ultimately returns to you. By offering love, prosperity, and goodwill to those around you, you not only uplift them, but also affirm the reality of abundance in your own life. This cycle of giving and receiving creates a powerful flow, dissolving feelings of lack and replacing them with an unshakable sense of sufficiency and gratitude. Start by recognizing the inherent abundance in the world. Too often, people fall into the trap of believing in scarcity, that there is not enough love, success, or prosperity to go around. This mindset breeds competition, envy, and fear. But the truth is that the universe is infinite, and abundance is available to everyone. When you bless others, you affirm this truth. You shift your focus from fear to faith, from lack to plenty, and in doing so, you expand your own capacity to receive. Blessing others does not require grand gestures or material wealth. It begins with a simple intention, a heartfelt thought. Take a moment to silently wish someone well. Imagine them surrounded by light, experiencing joy, health, and success. See them thriving in every area of their life. This mental practice costs you nothing but has the power to transform not only their energy but also your own. You can also bless others through words. The words you speak carry immense energy. When you speak kindly, encourage someone, or express genuine gratitude, you are sending vibrations of love and abundance into their life. These vibrations ripple outward, touching everyone they encounter, and ultimately return to you magnified. Avoid gossip, criticism, or negativity, as these lower your own vibration and perpetuate the illusion of lack. Instead, use your words as tools for upliftment and connection. Action is another powerful way to bless others. Small acts of kindness, whether holding a door open, offering a smile, or sharing a resource, create a tangible expression of the abundance you hold within. When you give freely without expectation, you demonstrate your trust in the infinite flow of the universe. This trust deepens your connection to abundance and reinforces your belief that there is always more than enough to share. Blessing others is particularly transformative when extended to those who challenge you. It can be difficult to wish love and abundance upon someone who has hurt or offended you, but this is where the true power of this practice lies. When you bless those who have wronged you, you release the heavy burden of resentment and replace it with freedom and peace. You free yourself from the cycle of negativity and align with the higher vibrations of love and forgiveness. As you bless others, pay special attention to how it makes you feel. Notice the warmth in your heart, the lightness in your spirit. These feelings are evidence of your alignment with abundance. The act of blessing others is not about depleting yourself or giving away what you need. On the contrary, it is about recognizing that the more you give, the more you receive. Love and abundance flow endlessly, and by sharing them, you become a channel for their expansion. Visualization can enhance this practice. Picture yourself as a radiant source of light, emitting waves of love and prosperity that touch everyone you encounter. See these waves creating a ripple effect, spreading goodness far and wide. Imagine the world as a place of unity and plenty, where everyone thrives and supports one another. This vision not only blesses others, but also reinforces your belief in the limitless nature of abundance. Gratitude plays a key role in blessing others. When you are grateful for the blessings in your own life, it becomes natural to want to share that gratitude with others. Acknowledge the people who have supported you, inspired you, or brought joy into your life. Let them know how much they mean to you. Gratitude is a powerful multiplier of abundance, and as you express it, you attract even more to be grateful for. Finally, remember that blessing others is a practice that extends beyond individuals. You can bless communities, nations, and even the planet as a whole. Imagine peace, prosperity, and harmony for all beings. Send love to the earth. to the air you breathe, to the food that nourishes you. Recognize the interconnected web of life and your role as a co-creator within it. By blessing others with love and abundance, you align yourself with the universal truth that what you give, you receive. You dissolve the illusion of separation and scarcity, replacing it with unity and abundance. This practice not only enriches the lives of those around you, but also deepens your own connection to the infinite source of love and prosperity that is always available. To complete the journey of blessing yourself and others, it is essential to live with intention and fully claim your power. Living intentionally means approaching each day with purpose, clarity, and conscious awareness of your ability to shape your reality. It is the act of stepping into your role as the creator of your life, no longer allowing circumstances, habits, or external forces to dictate your path. When you live intentionally, you move from passive existence to active creation, awakening to the truth that your thoughts, feelings, and actions are the architects of your experience. The foundation of intentional living lies in clarity. You must be clear about who you are, what you desire, and what kind of life you wish to create. Many people drift through life without ever defining their goals or understanding their true purpose. They live reactively, responding to the demands of the world around them, instead of proactively designing a life they love. Living intentionally requires you to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? What brings me joy, fulfillment, and peace? These questions guide you toward your inner truth, helping you align with your deepest desires. Once you have clarity, the next step is to set deliberate intentions. Intentions act as a roadmap, directing your energy and focus toward what truly matters. They are not mere wishes or vague hopes, but clear, powerful declarations of what you aim to create and experience. Begin each day by setting intentions for how you want to feel, what you want to accomplish, and how you want to show up in the world. Write them down, speak them aloud, or hold them in your mind as a guide throughout your day. Living intentionally also requires you to take responsibility for your thoughts and emotions. As you have learned, your inner world creates your outer reality. If you allow your mind to wander aimlessly or entertain thoughts of doubt, fear, or negativity, you will find yourself creating a life that reflects those energies. Claiming your power means taking charge of your mental and emotional state, ensuring they align with the life you wish to build. This does not mean suppressing negative emotions, but rather acknowledging them, learning from them, and choosing to refocus on thoughts that uplift and empower you. Action is another cornerstone of intentional living. Intentions without action remain unrealized potential. To claim your power, you must take inspired steps toward your goals. These actions do not need to be grand or perfect, they simply need to be consistent and aligned with your desires. Each small step reinforces your belief in your ability to create change and moves you closer to your vision. Even when challenges arise, intentional living calls you to stay committed and persevere, trusting that every action you take has a ripple effect in shaping your reality. Mindfulness is an invaluable tool for living intentionally. When you are fully present in each moment, you become aware of your thoughts, feelings, and choices. This awareness allows you to respond consciously rather than reacting out of habit or emotion. Practicing mindfulness helps you stay aligned with your intentions, ensuring that your actions consistently support your goals. It also deepens your appreciation for the journey, reminding you to find joy and gratitude in each step of the process. Claiming your power also involves releasing anything that no longer serves you. This might mean letting go of limiting beliefs, toxic relationships, or outdated habits that keep you stuck in a cycle of mediocrity. It requires courage to release these attachments, but doing so creates space for new opportunities, growth, and abundance to enter your life. As you shed what no longer aligns with your highest self, you step into a greater sense of freedom and possibility. Another key aspect of intentional living is embracing self-discipline. True power comes from consistency and commitment to your vision. Discipline is not about forcing yourself to act, but about cultivating habits and routines that support your intentions. When you wake up each day with a clear purpose and take aligned actions, you build momentum. This momentum strengthens your belief in yourself, and reinforces your connection to the creative power within you. Living intentionally also means embracing the unknown with confidence. As you create your life, there will be moments of uncertainty, where the path ahead is unclear. Instead of succumbing to fear or hesitation, trust in your ability to navigate these moments. Remember that uncertainty is not a barrier, but an opportunity for growth and discovery. By stepping forward with faith and courage, you affirm your role as a creator and open yourself to new possibilities. Finally, claiming your power requires you to celebrate your progress. Too often, people focus solely on what they have yet to achieve, overlooking the growth and successes they have already experienced. Take time to acknowledge your efforts, appreciate your journey, and honor the progress you have made. Each step, no matter how small, is a testament to your power and potential. When you live intentionally, you transform every moment into an opportunity to create the life you desire. You move through the world with purpose, confidence, and a deep sense of alignment with your highest self. By claiming your power, you affirm your role as a deliberate creator and embrace the infinite potential that lies within you. As we come to the close of this journey together, I want to remind you that the power to bless yourself and create the life you desire is already within you. By awakening to your creative power, defining your desires with clarity, embodying the feeling of fulfillment, trusting the process, harnessing your imagination, practicing consistency in thought, blessing others with love and abundance, and living intentionally, you have unlocked the doors to limitless possibility. The steps you take today, no matter how small, ripple out and shape the world you will inhabit tomorrow. Remember, your thoughts are not just fleeting moments, they are the building blocks of your future. Your feelings are the energy that fuels your creations. Your actions are the expression of your inner world in the physical realm. By consciously aligning all these elements, you claim your power and become the architect of your reality. This journey is one of continuous growth. You are always evolving, learning, and stepping more fully into your purpose. Each day brings new opportunities to bless yourself and others, to live with intention, and to fully embrace the abundant universe that is at your fingertips. Trust in the process, trust in yourself, and never doubt the profound impact you can have on your own life and the lives of those around you. Thank you for allowing me to share this time with you. It has been an honor to stand with you on this path of empowerment and creation. Remember, you are the creator, the master of your destiny. Continue to live with love, purpose, and unshakable faith in your power. The world is waiting for you to shine your unique light. Thank you, and may you always be blessed with abundance, peace, and fulfillment. Ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to consider a truth that transcends the limitations of the senses, that your imagination is the creative power behind all things. This truth may appear too simple, yet it is the key to unlocking the boundless potential within you. Look around you. Every object, every structure, every invention that you encounter in the world first began as an idea, a vision held in the mind of its creator. The chair you sit upon, the home you dwell in, the words you now hear, all of these existed first in the realm of imagination before they took form in the physical world. This is the law of creation: as within, so without. The external world is but a mirror reflecting the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs you entertain within yourself. If you desire to change your life, you must first change the world within. Imagine for a moment the life you long to live. See it clearly in your mind's eye, not as something distant or unattainable, but as a reality here and now. How would it feel to have your wish fulfilled? To know that your desires are already yours? Allow yourself to dwell in that feeling, joyful, grateful, certain. This state of being is the seed from which your reality grows. Do not look to the outer world for validation, for the world will only echo what you have already imagined. Instead, turn inward. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and persist in this state. Though the senses may deny it, and the world may mock it, remain steadfast. For what you hold in imagination, with faith and conviction, must become visible in time. Remember this: you are not a victim of circumstance. You are the creator of your experience. Your imagination is the infinite power through which all things are made. It is the God within you, the divine force that brings life to the formless. So I urge you to use this power wisely. Do not dwell on lack or limitation, for what you imagine you will manifest. Instead, imagine only the good, the noble, the beautiful. Trust in the process, and know that as you believe, so it shall be done unto you. Your imagination is not just a tool, it is your true essence. It is the source of creation, the author of your reality. Embrace this truth, live it, and you will discover that there are no limits to what you can achieve. Imagination is the foundation of all that exists in the physical world. Every object you encounter, every structure you admire, and every invention you rely on began as a thought within someone's mind. Before it could be touched, seen, or used, it existed as a vision, a vivid image shaped and nurtured within the realm of imagination. When you consider the great accomplishments of human history, it becomes clear that imagination is the driving force behind progress. The towering cathedrals of Europe, the majestic pyramids of Egypt, and the technological marvels of the modern age all began as intangible ideas. Their creators saw them in the mind's eye before ever breaking ground or crafting blueprints. This is the essence of creation, to conceive imagination, what does not yet exist, and to bring it forth through focused thought and unwavering faith. Imagination is not limited to monumental achievements. It is at work in your everyday life, shaping every experience you encounter. The clothes you wear, the devices you use, even the conversations you have, all of these began as thoughts, either in your mind or in the minds of others. Every decision you make, from the smallest to the most significant, is influenced by the images and scenarios you create within your imagination. It is the silent architect of your reality, constantly designing the framework of your world. This creative power operates universally and impartially. It does not discriminate between what is realistic or unrealistic. It simply brings to life that which is vividly and consistently imagined. This means that whether you envision success or failure, joy or sorrow, abundance or scarcity, your imagination sets the stage for those outcomes to manifest. It is the ultimate creative force, and it is entirely under your control. Most people, however, are aware of this power. They allow their imagination to be influenced by external circumstances rather than using it deliberately to shape their lives. They react to the world around them, creating mental images of fear, doubt, or limitation based on what their senses report. This reactive use of imagination only perpetuates existing conditions, trapping them in a cycle of repetition. But for those who understand the creative nature of imagination, life takes on a new dimension. They realize that the external world is not fixed or immutable, but is instead a reflection of their inner state. By consciously directing their imagination, they can transform their circumstances, no matter how challenging or unfavorable they may appear. Imagination is not constrained by time or space. It allows you to explore possibilities beyond the present moment, and to envision realities that transcend the boundaries of the physical world. When you close your eyes and picture yourself living your ideal life, your imagination begins to construct the bridge between where you are and where you wish to be. This is not wishful thinking or idle daydreaming, it is the deliberate act of creation. I think of imagination as the blueprint of reality. Just as an architect designs a building before it is constructed, your imagination designs your life. Every detail matters: the colors, the textures, the emotions. The more vivid and precise your mental imagery, the more powerfully it imprints upon the fabric of reality. Your imagination lays the groundwork for what will eventually materialize, whether it is a career goal, a harmonious relationship, or a state of inner peace. This power is not reserved for a select few. It is the birthright of every individual. From the moment you were born, you have been endowed with the ability to imagine and therefore to create. The great innovators, artists, and leaders of history were not fundamentally different from you. They simply recognized and harnessed the power of imagination to shape their lives and their legacies. The creative process begins the moment you close your eyes and dare to dream. When you allow your imagination to roam freely, unencumbered by doubt or fear, you tap into a wellspring of infinite potential. The images you hold within your mind are seeds that, when nurtured with attention and belief, grow into the experiences of your life. The law of reflection is one of the most profound principles governing our experience of reality. It states that the external world is a mirror, reflecting the inner world of thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. This means that the life you see around you is not separate from you, but is instead a direct projection of your inner state. Just as a mirror cannot show anything other than what stands before it, the world you experience cannot present anything that you have not first imagined or accepted within yourself. Understanding this principle reveals that your outer circumstances are not random or independent. They are intimately connected to the mental and emotional patterns you maintain. Whether you are aware of it or not, you are continuously broadcasting the content of your mind to the universe, and this invisible transmission shapes your reality. Every fear, every joy, every conviction is imprinted upon the external world, which faithfully returns it to you as experiences and conditions. Many people struggle with the events of their lives, feeling victimized by circumstances that seem beyond their control. They blame external forces, other people, the economy, or fate without realizing that these events are merely reflections of their inner states. If someone habitually harbors thoughts of lack or limitation, they will inevitably encounter situations that confirm these beliefs. Similarly, a person who carries a deep sense of unworthiness will find this reflected back to them in relationships and opportunities that reinforce their perception. This reflection is not a punishment, but a powerful tool for self-awareness. The world acts as a feedback system, allowing you to see the contents of your inner mind. When you observe a recurring pattern in your external life, it is a signal to look within. If you find yourself surrounded by conflict, for example, ask yourself what inner tensions or unresolved emotions are being reflected in these situations. If prosperity eludes you, examine your beliefs about wealth and abundance. The outer world provides clues to the inner adjustments that are needed. The reflective nature of reality also applies to the positive aspects of life. When you cultivate thoughts of love, joy, and success, these states will inevitably manifest in your external world. A mind filled with gratitude will attract experiences that reinforce that gratitude, just as a confident and self-assured person will find opportunities that align with their inner certainty. The law is neutral and unwavering, responding with precision to whatever you hold in consciousness. One of the most fascinating aspects of the law of reflection is that it operates beyond the scope of conscious thought. Many of the beliefs that shape your reality are held at a subconscious level, formed through past experiences, societal conditioning, and deeply ingrained patterns. These hidden beliefs often run on autopilot, influencing your external life without your awareness. To truly harness the power of this law, it is essential to become conscious of these underlying assumptions and to deliberately replace them with thoughts and feelings that align with your desired reality. The principle of as within, so without also emphasizes the importance of self-concept. The way you see yourself determines how the world responds to you. If you carry a mental image of yourself as successful, capable, and deserving, life will reflect this back to you through opportunities, relationships, and experiences that affirm your self-concept. Conversely, if you view yourself as inadequate or powerless, the external world will mirror these limitations. This is why changing your self-image is one of the most powerful ways to transform your reality. It is crucial to remember that the outer world does not act independently, it is reactive. You are the cause, and it is the effect. This understanding places responsibility squarely on your shoulders, but also grants you immense power. The moment you take responsibility for your inner state, you gain the ability to influence the world around you. Instead of trying to manipulate external conditions, focus on changing your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. As you shift your inner world, the outer world must follow suit. The law of reflection also highlights the interconnectedness of all things. When you see the external world as a mirror, you begin to understand that you are not separate from the people and circumstances you encounter. Each interaction, whether harmonious or challenging, serves as a reflection of your inner dynamics. Relationships in particular are a powerful arena for this reflection. The qualities you admire or dislike in others often point to aspects of yourself that you either embrace or resist. By recognizing this, you can use every relationship as an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. Living in the end is the art of mentally and emotionally assuming the state of your wish already fulfilled. It is a practice of shifting your consciousness from longing for what you desire to embodying the feeling of already having it. This principle is not about waiting for external conditions to change. It is about creating an inner state of fulfillment so complete that the outer world has no choice but to reflect it. When you live in the end, you abandon thoughts of lack or separation from your desire. Instead, you move into a state where your goal is no longer something you are striving for, it is already achieved. This requires more than simple visualization. It demands that you feel as if your desire is real now. The focus is not on the path or the how, but solely on the what and the emotional state that accompanies its realization. Feeling is the key to this practice. Every emotion carries a vibration, and the vibration you sustain determines the reality you experience. When you dwell in feelings of joy, gratitude, or success, you emit a frequency that aligns with the manifestation of those emotions in the physical world. Conversely, feelings of doubt, fear, or longing emit vibrations that perpetuate those states. By consciously cultivating the feeling of fulfillment, you create the energetic blueprint for your desires to take form. The power of living in the end lies in its simplicity. The mind is inherently drawn to complexity, often focusing on the steps, challenges, or obstacles to achieving a goal. Living in the end bypasses these distractions, directing your energy entirely toward the desired outcome. Instead of worrying about the means, you trust that the path will unfold naturally. This faith is not blind optimism. It is rooted in the understanding that your inner state is the seed from which all external outcomes grow. Living in the end requires discipline and imagination. It asks you to persist in your assumption, even when the senses contradict it. This persistence can feel challenging because the physical world often appears slow to change. However, the external world is merely the shadow of the inner world. By maintaining the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you set into motion unseen forces that will reshape your reality in ways you cannot predict. The practice of living in the end also transforms how you interact with the present moment. When you truly believe your desire is already fulfilled, you no longer approach life with a sense of desperation or urgency. Instead, you radiate confidence and ease. This shift in attitude not only brings peace but also attracts circumstances and opportunities that align with your assumed reality. The more you embody the feeling of your desired state, the more magnetic you become to experiences that confirm it. Many people mistakenly believe that they must first achieve their goals to feel fulfilled. They see happiness, success, or love as rewards that follow external accomplishments. Living in the end turns this paradigm upside down. It teaches that fulfillment must come first. By generating the feeling now, you draw the corresponding conditions into your life. This principle works because the mind cannot distinguish between an imagined reality and a physical one. When you feel as though your wish is already realized, your subconscious mind accepts it as truth and begins organizing your outer world to match this inner conviction. A critical component of living in the end is specificity. It is not enough to vaguely desire a better life. You must know precisely what you want and what it would feel like to have it. The more detailed your assumption, the more vivid the experience becomes. For example, if your goal is financial freedom, imagine not just the money but the lifestyle it affords, the home you live in, the people you surround yourself with, and the sense of security and abundance you feel. Engage all your senses in this imaginative act, creating a mental and emotional experience that feels as real as the physical world. Doubt and impatience are the greatest enemies of this practice. They tempt you to abandon your assumption and return to the mindset of lack. To overcome these challenges, remind yourself that the process is already underway, even if you cannot yet see the results. Each time you feel yourself slipping into doubt, return to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Let the emotion anchor you, grounding you in the reality you are creating. Living in the end also requires detachment from the current reality. This does not mean ignoring your present circumstances, but rather refusing to let them dictate your inner state. The senses will often present evidence that seems to contradict your assumption. Recognize this for what it is, a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. Instead of reacting to these appearances, reaffirm your inner conviction. The external world is always playing catch-up to the inner world by living in the end. You stay ahead of the curve, shaping reality before it manifests. Emotions are the driving force behind creation, the invisible current that shapes the experiences of your life. While thoughts provide the framework, emotions bring them to life, infusing them with energy and direction. Every emotional state you dwell in becomes a signal you broadcast to the universe, and the universe responds by mirroring that state back to you through circumstances, relationships, and events. The power of emotional states lies in their vibrational quality. Each emotion carries its own frequency, and this frequency interacts with the energetic field that surrounds you. High vibrational emotions such as joy, love, gratitude, and confidence attract experiences that resonate with these feelings, creating harmony and fulfillment in your life. On the other hand, low vibrational emotions such as fear, anger, resentment, or doubt attract corresponding conditions that perpetuate struggle and limitation. This is not a punishment or reward system, it is simply the law of energy in action. Emotions are far more than fleeting reactions to external events. They are indicators of your inner state and serve as a compass for your creative power. When you feel positive, expansive emotions, it is a sign that you are aligned with your desires and open to receiving them. Negative emotions, while often uncomfortable, are equally valuable because they highlight resistance or misalignment, giving you the opportunity to address and adjust your inner state. One of the most transformative realizations about emotions is that you are not their victim, you are their creator. While external events can trigger emotional responses, the way you interpret and react to these events determines the emotions you experience. This means you have the power to consciously choose your emotional state, regardless of your circumstances. By cultivating emotions that align with your desired reality, you take an active role in shaping your life. The connection between emotion and imagination is particularly profound. When you visualize a desired outcome, it is the accompanying emotion that makes the visualization effective. Without emotion, a mental image remains lifeless and inert. But when you imbue that image with the feeling of joy, excitement, or gratitude, you breathe life into it, creating a powerful energetic signal that propels it toward manifestation. This is why feeling is the secret to turning desires into reality. Emotions also play a critical role in overcoming limiting beliefs. Many beliefs are rooted in emotional experiences, often from early life, and they continue to influence your perceptions and actions unconsciously. For example, a person who experienced rejection may carry a belief that they are unworthy of love, which manifests as fear or anxiety in relationships. To break free from such patterns, it is necessary to consciously cultivate emotions that counteract the limiting belief. By consistently feeling worthy, loved, and secure, you can overwrite the old emotional blueprint and replace it with a new one that supports your growth and fulfillment. The power of emotional states is amplified by consistency. Occasional bursts of positivity, while helpful, are not enough to create lasting change. It is the sustained emotional state, the feelings you habitually dwell in, that determines the trajectory of your life. This is why self-awareness is so crucial. By observing your emotions throughout the day, you can identify patterns and make deliberate choices to shift your state when necessary. A key aspect of harnessing the power of emotions is learning to generate them independently of external conditions. Most people allow their emotions to be dictated by what is happening around them, reacting to events rather than proactively creating their desired state. However, true mastery comes from developing the ability to evoke emotions at will, regardless of external circumstances. This can be achieved through practices such as gratitude, visualization, affirmations, and mindfulness, all of which train your mind to focus on the feelings you want to cultivate. The body also plays a role in emotional states, as emotions are often stored and expressed physically. By paying attention to your posture, breathing, and movement, you can influence your emotional state in powerful ways. For example, standing tall, taking deep breaths, and smiling can naturally elevate your mood, while slouching or shallow breathing can reinforce feelings of fatigue or discouragement. Understanding the mind-body connection allows you to use your physical state as a tool for emotional transformation. It is important to recognize that emotions are contagious. The energy you emit affects not only your own life but also the lives of those around you. When you consistently radiate positive emotions, you create an uplifting environment that inspires and empowers others. Similarly, dwelling in negative emotions can spread that energy to those in your vicinity, creating a ripple effect. This interconnectedness underscores the importance of taking responsibility for your emotional state, not only for your own benefit but also for the collective well-being of those you interact with. Persistence in the face of external appearances is a crucial aspect of realizing any desired outcome. The physical world often presents challenges, contradictions, and delays that may seem to contradict your inner vision. These external conditions may tempt you to abandon your beliefs or question the possibility of your desires ever coming to fruition. However, the true power lies in maintaining faith and persistence, even when the world around you seems to offer evidence to the contrary. External appearances are just that, appearances. They are temporary and subject to change. What appears to be a setback or obstacle is often a mere reflection of old thoughts and beliefs that no longer serve you. The world you experience is constantly changing, reshaping itself to reflect your inner assumptions. Just because something does not show up immediately does not mean it is not in the process of materializing. Persistence is the act of staying true to your vision and continuing to nurture it with unwavering belief, regardless of what your senses may tell you. One of the most important aspects of persistence is understanding the law of cause and effect. Your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are the cause, and the beliefs are the cause, and the world around you is the effect. However, the effect takes time to materialize, as it is constantly responding to the thoughts and feelings you have previously entertained. This delay can sometimes lead to frustration and doubt, but it is essential to remember that nothing in the external world is permanent. Everything is fluid, constantly adjusting to reflect the changes you make within yourself. When faced with external resistance, it is easy to fall into the trap of believing that your desires are unattainable. You might see others succeeding, while your own goals seem out of reach. These comparisons, while natural, are not helpful because they ignore the principle of creation. The world responds to your unique thoughts and beliefs, and just because someone else's desires are unfolding doesn't mean yours are any less valid or possible. Every person's experience is a result of their own internal state, and by persisting in your vision, you remain aligned with your desired outcome. It is also vital to recognize that persistence is not about stubbornly pushing against resistance. It is about maintaining your vision with patience, allowing the universe the necessary time and space to rearrange the circumstances around you. Persistence involves trust that the inner changes you make will eventually be reflected in the outer world. It is the act of holding on to your desired reality with such conviction that no amount of external turbulence can shake your belief. When you persist in your vision, you are not ignoring reality, but rather you are focusing on a higher, truer reality. The current state of things is simply an echo of past thoughts and actions. The future is created by the mental and emotional states you cultivate today. Every time you persist in living as though your desire is already fulfilled, you shift the very fabric of reality to align with that belief. It might take time for this shift to become visible in the physical world, but the more you persist in your assumption, the more inevitable it becomes. In order to maintain persistence, you must also learn to manage your reactions to external conditions. It is easy to become discouraged when things seem to be going wrong, but you must remember that these conditions are temporary and often a necessary part of the process. The external world reflects what is happening within you, and sometimes external challenges serve to remove old patterns or beliefs that no longer serve you. In these moments, it is crucial to remain focused on your end goal, not on the temporary conditions that seem to contradict it. One powerful technique for maintaining persistence is to visualize your desire as already fulfilled. Engage with it emotionally, as if it has already become a part of your present reality. The more vividly you can imagine your success, the more real it becomes to you. This emotional engagement creates a sense of inevitability that strengthens your persistence. When you live in the end, when you feel the fulfillment of your desires now, you begin to act, think, and feel in a way that naturally leads to their manifestation. Another aspect of persistence is understanding the power of repetition. Persistence does not mean exerting force or effort beyond your limits. It means consistently reaffirming your desired reality. This is where practices like affirmations, visualization, and gratitude become powerful tools. By repeatedly affirming your vision, you reinforce it in your mind and heart, ensuring that it becomes the dominant force in your life. Each time you return to your vision, you are strengthening the belief that it is already yours. It is also important to recognize that persistence is not about controlling how your desires manifest. It is about staying connected to the feeling of fulfillment, regardless of how or when the universe decides to respond. Sometimes the process of manifestation requires time, adjustments, or even detours. Trust that every experience is contributing to your growth, and that every step, no matter how seemingly insignificant, is part of the larger picture. The key is to remain persistent in your faith, not in the conditions, but in the ultimate realization of your desire. Persistence in the face of external appearances requires courage, the courage to keep moving forward, even when the path is unclear and the world seems to challenge your beliefs. It is this unwavering belief that eventually causes the external world to shift and bend in alignment with your desires. When you remain steadfast and unshaken by temporary appearances, you send a clear signal to the universe that you are not going to settle for anything less than your vision. Faith is a powerful and often misunderstood force when it comes to creation. It is not merely a passive belief, but an active, creative energy that shapes the direction of your life. Faith is the bridge between your current reality and the reality you desire. It is the inner conviction that what you seek is already yours, even when external circumstances suggest otherwise. The creative role of faith lies in its ability to transform your thoughts, emotions, and actions into a coherent force that manifests into physical reality. At its core, faith is a belief in the unseen. It is the unwavering certainty that your desires will come to fruition, regardless of the external evidence. When you have faith, you trust that the process of creation is already underway, even if you cannot yet see it. This faith does not waver based on the present conditions or the limitations that may appear in your life. It is the deep inner knowing that what you have imagined and believed in will eventually manifest in your experience. Faith is the creative power that aligns your mind with your desires. To create something, you must first be in harmony with it in your mind and spirit. Faith works by turning that inner harmony into an unstoppable force. When you believe that something is already yours, whether it is success, love, health, or abundance, you align yourself with that outcome. You no longer seek it, you simply accept it as part of your reality. This shift in perception is the creative power of faith in action. One of the most significant aspects of faith is its ability to shape your perception. When you have faith in a particular outcome, you begin to see opportunities, synchronicities, and signs that support your vision. You begin to notice people, events, and resources that are in alignment with your desires. Your focus sharpens, and you start to see the world in a way that confirms your belief. This creative perception opens doors and creates pathways that were previously invisible to you. Faith transforms your view of the world and your ability to interact with it in a way that brings your desires closer. Faith also plays a critical role in overcoming obstacles and doubts. Every person will face moments of uncertainty when the external world seems to offer contradictory evidence to the desires they are trying to manifest. During these times, it is the strength of your faith that determines whether you will continue to move forward or abandon your goals. Faith requires you to persist, to hold on to your vision, even when it feels like progress is slow or impossible. The creative power of faith lies in its ability to anchor you in your belief, despite the challenges that may arise. faith works in tandem with imagination. Imagination is the blueprint for creation, while faith is the force that brings it to life. To create something new, you must first imagine it in vivid detail, but it is faith that gives that imagined reality substance. The imagination sets the vision, but faith propels it into action. When you imagine yourself in a new house, for example, it is faith that allows you to act as if it is already yours, without hesitation or doubt. Faith turns imagination into reality by filling the mind with the certainty that the desired outcome is inevitable. The creative role of faith extends beyond the mind into the realm of emotion. Faith is not just a mental state, it is also an emotional one. When you believe in the fulfillment of your desires, you must also feel it in your heart. The feeling of already having what you desire amplifies the power of faith, for emotions are the energetic fuel that moves the creative process forward. When you combine belief with a strong emotional connection to your desire, you create a magnetic force that attracts your desired outcomes into your life. Faith also provides the resilience necessary to navigate the periods of waiting and uncertainty that inevitably arise during the creative process. When you are working toward a goal, there will be moments when external conditions do not match your desires, and the temptation to doubt will creep in. This is when faith becomes your greatest ally. Faith allows you to remain steady and calm in the face of uncertainty, trusting that the world is aligning with your inner vision, even if it doesn't seem apparent yet. The stronger your faith, the more resistant you become to the pull of doubt and the external circumstances that may discourage you. Another important aspect of faith is its role in empowering action. While faith itself is an invisible force, it inspires and strengthens the actions you take toward your goals. Without faith, even the most diligent efforts can seem futile, as doubt creates resistance and blocks progress. However, with faith, every action you take is infused with purpose and intention. Faith empowers you to act decisively and persistently, knowing that every step brings you closer to the fulfillment of your desire. It instills the confidence to take risks and make bold moves that would otherwise seem impossible. Faith also requires a deep sense of surrender. It is not about forcing or controlling the outcome, but a creative power that lies within you and harness it to shape the life you desire. Faith is the unseen hand that guides you through the process of creation, helping you maintain your focus, your belief, and your determination until your desires manifest into reality. Negative mental patterns are the silent architects of the life you experience. They are automatic thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes that shape your perceptions, actions, and ultimately your outcomes. While these patterns are often deeply ingrained and subconscious, their power is undeniable. They influence how you react to the world, how you feel about yourself, and how you engage with your desires. Avoiding negative mental patterns is essential if you want to create a life that reflects your true potential, as these patterns limit your growth and manifest results that are far from your desires. The first step in avoiding negative mental patterns is to become aware of them. Often, negative thoughts go unnoticed, as they have been repeated so frequently that they blend into the background of your consciousness. These thoughts can be as subtle as a self-doubt when taking on a new challenge, or as overt as a fear of failure when attempting something unfamiliar. Common negative mental patterns include thoughts of unworthiness, fear of the unknown, fear of failure, perfectionism, and negative self-talk. Identifying these patterns is crucial because, until they are recognized, they continue to play an unconscious role in shaping your experience. Once identified, the next step is to confront these negative thoughts head-on. Avoiding them does not eliminate them, it only gives them power to fester and grow. Confrontation does not mean engaging in a battle with your thoughts, but acknowledging them without attachment or judgment. When negative thoughts arise, instead of resisting them or allowing them to consume your energy, observe them as they are just thoughts. Recognizing that they are temporary and do not define who you are allows you to create a space between yourself and these thoughts. This space is where the power lies, as it is the moment when you can choose to redirect your focus and energy toward more empowering beliefs. One effective way to avoid negative mental patterns is through mindfulness. Mindfulness involves being fully present in the moment without judgment. When you practice mindfulness, you become more attuned to your thoughts, feelings, and bodily sensations. By observing your thoughts without getting caught up in them, you prevent negative patterns from taking root. This practice trains your mind to respond consciously rather than react impulsively to negative thoughts. It also helps you detach from habitual patterns of thinking that are often triggered by external circumstances. Through mindfulness, you begin to break free from the automatic responses that perpetuate negativity and replace them with more positive and constructive thought patterns. Another powerful method for avoiding negative mental patterns is to replace them with positive affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that challenge and transform negative beliefs. The repetition of affirmations helps to override limiting beliefs and install new, empowering ones. For example, if you struggle with feelings of inadequacy, an affirmation like "I am worthy of success and happiness" can be a powerful tool for shifting your mindset. When you repeat these affirmations consistently, you begin to reprogram your subconscious mind, gradually replacing negative thought patterns with positive ones. Over time, these new beliefs take hold, creating a strong foundation for personal growth and success. It is also helpful to become aware of your internal dialogue. The way you speak to yourself, even in casual moments, plays a significant role in shaping your mental patterns. Negative self-talk, such as "I can't do this" or "I'm not good enough," reinforces limiting beliefs and sabotages progress. By consciously shifting your internal dialogue to a more supportive and compassionate tone, you begin to break the cycle of negativity. Instead of focusing on what you can't do, focus on what you can do. Instead of criticizing yourself for mistakes, view them as opportunities for learning and growth. This shift in language helps foster a mindset of resilience and empowerment, replacing negative mental patterns with a sense of possibility. Surrounding yourself with positivity is another effective way to avoid negative mental patterns. The people you interact with, the media you consume, and the environments you place yourself in have a significant impact on your mental state. Negative influences, whether they come from toxic relationships, social media, or negative news, can reinforce limiting beliefs and emotional patterns. By curating your environment to support your growth, whether through uplifting books, encouraging people, or positive affirmations, you create a mental atmosphere that encourages positivity and personal empowerment. The more you immerse yourself in positive energy, the less room there is for negativity to take root. In addition, self-compassion is a powerful antidote to negative mental patterns. People who are hard on themselves often fall into cycles of negative thinking because they feel inadequate or unworthy. Practicing self-compassion involves treating yourself with the same kindness, patience, and understanding that you would offer to a friend. When you make a mistake or experience a setback, rather than criticizing yourself, offer yourself words of encouragement and love. This gentle approach helps to dissolve negative self-talk and creates an internal environment where you feel safe, accepted, and capable. Self-compassion fosters resilience, making it easier to bounce back from difficulties without slipping into destructive thought patterns. Another crucial aspect of avoiding negative mental patterns is developing a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that abilities, intelligence, and character can be developed through dedication and hard work. People with a growth mindset view challenges as opportunities for growth, rather than as insurmountable obstacles. When you adopt this mindset, negative thoughts about failure and inadequacy lose their grip. Instead of being paralyzed by fear or doubt, you approach challenges with curiosity and determination. This mindset shift helps you to see failure not as something to be feared, but as a stepping stone toward success. It is important to practice gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools for shifting negative mental patterns. When you focus on what is good and positive in your life, you naturally raise your vibration and shift your focus away from what is lacking. Gratitude helps you to see abundance rather than scarcity, progress rather than setbacks. By cultivating an attitude of gratitude, you create a mental environment that attracts more of what you appreciate and less of what you resist. Gratitude helps break the cycle of negativity and fosters an overall mindset of positivity and abundance. Avoiding negative mental patterns is an ongoing process that requires awareness, intention, and consistent practice. It is not about eliminating negative thoughts entirely, but rather about recognizing them, transforming them, and choosing to replace them with thoughts that support your growth and success. By taking proactive steps to cultivate a positive mindset, you can break free from the limitations of negative mental patterns and create a reality that aligns with your true desires. Imagination is often seen as a mere tool for creativity, or a faculty of the mind that provides daydreams and fantasies. However, when understood from a deeper perspective, imagination is far more than that. It is the divine power that shapes reality. It is not just a tool for creating stories or scenarios, it is the very substance from which all things emerge. Imagination is the bridge between the unseen world of thought and the seen world of form, and through its power, you can tap into the infinite creative energy of the universe. At its essence, imagination is a divine gift.it. Is the ability to create mental images and experiences that transcend physical boundaries, allowing you to shape the very fabric of reality. Every invention, every breakthrough, and every new experience in life begins in the mind's eye, fueled by the power of imagination. It is the divine spark within you, the force that allows you to envision what does not yet exist and then draw it into being. Imagination is the creative power that connects you to the infinite possibilities of the universe. When you use your imagination, you are not simply making up stories or escaping into fantasy. You are engaging with the divine energy that underlies all creation. The thoughts and images you conjure in your mind are not random, they are the seeds of creation. The power of imagination is that it gives form to these seeds, allowing them to grow into tangible manifestations in the physical world. Just as the universe began with a thought, all that you experience in your life begins with the images and ideas you hold in your mind. Imagination is a divine power because it operates beyond the limitations of time and space. The mind does not know the difference between what is imagined and what is real. When you vividly imagine a desired outcome, your subconscious mind accepts it as true. It then begins to shape your external world to reflect that imagined reality. This process is not bound by physical constraints. Time, distance, or material resources are irrelevant to the mind that is fueled by imagination. Through the use of imagination, you can transcend the limitations of the physical world and create your desired experiences with ease and grace. The power of imagination lies in its ability to influence both your inner and outer worlds. On an inner level, imagination shapes your beliefs, feelings, and attitudes. What you imagine to be true about yourself and the world will inevitably become your experience. If you imagine yourself as successful, abundant, and happy, these qualities will begin to manifest in your life as your subconscious mind works to bring your imagined reality into alignment with the external world. On an outer level, imagination shapes the circumstances, events, and people you encounter. The images you hold in your mind will begin to appear in your life in physical form. Energy amplifies the power of your imagination and accelerates the process of manifestation. Imagination also has the divine power to transform negative situations into positive ones. When faced with challenges, you can use the power of imagination to see beyond the present circumstances and envision a more desirable outcome. If you are struggling with a difficult situation, rather than focusing on the problems, you can imagine a solution, seeing yourself overcoming the obstacle with ease and grace. The more you practice this, the more your mind will begin to focus on solutions rather than problems, and you will naturally find yourself guided toward the actions and decisions that lead to a positive outcome. This is the transformative power of imagination. It allows you to reshape your reality by changing your mental images. The divine power of imagination is also the key to personal transformation. Through imagination, you can reinvent yourself and create a new version of yourself that is aligned with your highest aspirations. If you want to change any aspect of your life, whether it is your career, health, relationships, or self-image, imagination is the first step. By vividly imagining the person you wish to become, you begin to internalize that new identity. As you consistently imagine yourself as that person, your actions, beliefs, and habits begin to shift in alignment with that vision. Imagination is the gateway to transformation because it allows you to step into the future you desire, even before it has manifested in the physical world. Imagination, when used correctly, is a form of divine creation. It is a channel through which the infinite potential of the universe flows into your life. By learning to use your imagination with purpose and intention, you tap into a source of limitless creative power. The more clearly you can envision your desires and the more deeply you can connect to the feelings associated with those desires, the more quickly and effortlessly they will manifest. Imagination is not just a faculty of the mind, it is the divine power that creates the world you experience. And through it, you have the ability to shape your reality in alignment with your highest dreams and desires. Imagination is not just a tool for wishful thinking or daydreaming. It is the divine power that shapes the very fabric of our reality. Through the power of imagination, we are connected to an infinite well of creative energy that allows us to transform our inner vision into physical experiences. As we learn to harness and direct this power, we gain the ability to create the life we truly desire, one where our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions are aligned with the highest possibilities. The key is to recognize that imagination is not something separate from us. It is a part of us, a divine spark that, when cultivated and used intentionally, becomes the force that transforms the world around us. Thank you so much for your attention and presence today. It has been a true honor to share these insights with you. Remember, the power to create your reality lies within you, and through your imagination, you have the ability to shape your future in ways beyond what you may have thought possible. I encourage you to tap into this divine power, trust in your vision, and take inspired action. Thank you once again for being here and for being a part of this journey. May your imagination guide you to a life full of fulfillment, joy, and boundless possibilities.